Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. It is 6 o'clock and it is time for our group Path to Success. So I'm just trying to make sure that everything is on and ready to go. So we have had 4 days already on our Path to Success, our free coaching. And today is the 5th day, 5th and final day. And so we have started out visualizing, relaxing into our goal and visualizing our goal so we know what we want. And then really connecting with our emotions so that we can get deeply connected with the goal and really be able to be passionate about it. That's the only way that it's going to get into our subconscious, and that's how we're going to achieve it, to be passionate about it. So we have to really know what we want, know it's the right thing for ourselves, for our higher selves, that it's in alignment with who we are and our values, and then really know why we want it, connect deeply to why we want it, and clear out those emotions that are in the way, those deep old emotions of guilt, shame, that are in the way, things that are going to stand between us and what is the right goal for us, things that are the right life for us to be living. So we talked about that. We also talked about faith, which is another huge ingredient. You have to believe in yourself. You have to believe it's possible for this goal to happen, that it can happen, period, that it's possible in life for goals to be achieved, and even more, that it's possible for you to achieve your goals, for you personally to be able to achieve whatever it is that you've imagined, and why it's possible for you, because you are a beautiful creation of Source, that you're here for a purpose, and that you have every right to this goal, that you are here because you belong. You are here because you are filled with divine source and destined to fulfill it. So the last thing is that all of that is true. And yes, you are destined to fulfill it. Yes, it's out there with your name on it. And you are absolutely going to manifest it. You're going to attract it with all of your capability and ability. You have gifts and passions and imagination, so you can create whatever you want. And you have to work for it. You have to work for it. You have to be able to do the things that successful people do to get successful. And that means things like getting up at 6 o'clock in the morning. And that means things like staying consistent and being persistent and having patience, because things don't happen overnight. They might look like they happen overnight. You know, you see somebody like Oprah and you think, wow, you know, yesterday, this years ago, yesterday, she wasn't on TV, and then poof, she's on TV, and now she's this multi-billionaire, and with this, you know, incredibly successful show. But it didn't happen like that. If you've ever spent any time in her story, you know, she worked extremely hard. It was very difficult for her to get that show. It was very difficult for her to make anyone listen to her. Can you imagine? First of all, she's a woman. Secondly, she's a Black woman. So it was not an easy struggle that she had to get to success, and it certainly didn't happen overnight. If we go to, you know, Sylvester Stallone, if you know anything about Sylvester Stallone's story, you know, his first big break was with Rocky. And you're like, oh, wow, you know, he just wrote a movie and then, oh, he starred in the movie. But that's not true. That's not true at all. You know, he was almost homeless by the time that movie was picked up by anybody. You know, it cost him a happy marriage. I don't know how happy it was, but it cost him a marriage. His wife, was pretty fed up living with no food, no rent money, no, nothing, because he could not get a job as an actor. Who wanted to hire Sylvester Stallone? His face was a little bit off and his voice was a little bit off. No one wanted to hire him. And he just knew he was meant to be doing it. And so he continued and continued. I mean, he has a fascinating story. I really don't have time to go through everybody's stories. They're just so fascinating. These people that you look at and you think, wow, he wrote a movie and now he's this big, huge star who's been in who knows how many movies and made who knows how many millions and millions of dollars. That's just incredible. And these are recent, sort of modern stories. But there's, I talked before about Henry Ford and Thomas Edison. These people did not get to success easily. It was 10,000 experiments before the light bulb. And so you have to have perseverance. You have to be willing to just stick it out, even though it looks like it's not working. So that is definitely an element of success. And you have to have a plan. So the very last part of this is, what is the organized plan? That is an essential component. It's not just that you wish upon a star. That is not manifesting your dream, and attracting your dream and having your goals met that way is not by wishing. Manifesting and wishing are not the same thing. And people often get confused. They think if I just make my vision board, everything will happen for me. And I believe in vision boards, but I don't believe that they will make it happen for you. I believe they are a part of you training your subconscious. And you also have to put in the rest of the work. So what that work looks like, though, it doesn't have to look like what you think it has to look like. It doesn't have to look like what our grandparents thought work looked like. It doesn't mean you have to work in a factory. It doesn't mean you have to work in a coal mine. It's not slave labor. That idea of hard work is different than what I'm talking about. So, what is the work that you have to do? Well, it's those things I'm talking about. It's being consistent, persevere, have patience, and just do the things that work to do the work. So, what are the things that work? Well, when you want to get to your goal, you have to know what the goal is. So, that is the most important part, right? You have to know what it is. So, in order for that to happen, consistently do every single day, do your meditation. So in the morning, get up and do your meditation. Write down your goal. So know the goal, write it down, study it, spend time in it every day. Spend time studying it, getting the details of it, falling in love with it, things we've been doing this week, creating those affirmations that you believe, like we were talking about. Really spend time in that every single day. That's the most beginning seed of it, right? That's the first part. You have to really know it. You have to know what you want. And then choose 3 things that you're going to do towards it every day. So that doesn't mean that you have to be doing them from morning till night, but choose 3 things that you're going to, concrete things that you're going to do every day. So, for example, I know what my goal is. I want to be a coach that helps many people And I want to be a six-figure coach doing it. So I have that goal. I have very concrete numbers written down. I have very concrete dates written down. And that's something that when we work together, we go through exactly how specific you need to be. How do you set a good goal? What does a good goal look like? Because that's key too. Not just, I want to be a good coach. I want to be a good coach is not going to get you anywhere. Everybody who is a coach wants to be a good coach. Everybody wants to be happy. Everybody wants to, be a good person. You have to be really specific. So we go through that when we work together, exactly how to set a good goal. What is a good goal? And it's got to be a big goal that your subconscious can really dig into. And then choose 3 things that are really specifically going to help get you from here, where you are right now today, to where you want to be on that date. That date that you've chosen, that exact date that you've chosen is coming. So where are you going to be? You got to choose 3 things today to get you there. And then tomorrow and the next day and the next day and the next day. So you're going to do things every single day to further you in your goal and to get you there. And then you're going to do them. Like, that seems obvious, but it isn't necessarily. Like, people sometimes are really good at making lists, and then that list transfers to the next day and the next day and the next day, and their to-do list becomes like wallpaper. They could wallpaper their whole house with it because they just don't ever do the things on the to-do list. So that's why it's only 3 things. Don't choose 50 things. Just choose 3 things that are achievable, that you're going to actually do, and then just tackle one at a time. So you're just going to do the one thing first, prioritize. What's the one thing that I want to do first, that I need to do, that I want to do first? And just focus all your attention on that one thing. And when you have that one thing done, stop. Stop. And then be grateful. Take a moment of gratitude and celebrate that you have completed that one thing. And then revisit your goal. So once you've completed that one thing, go back to that list that you wrote this morning, that list of the big picture that you imagined when you were doing your visualization. Look at your overall goal. Look at it again. Read it, study it, be in it again. Now that you've finished that step that's taking you a little bit closer to end game, look at that stuff again. Be in it, spend some time in it, spend some time in visualization. And then move on to your next goal. And you're going to do that throughout the day. So all throughout the day, you're spending time in your goal, in where you want to be, right? Stop spending all this time in the past. People spend so much time in the past of, why am I the way I am? Why am I the way I am? We looked at that. We figured out what some of those beliefs were, and then you're going to let them go. Because now here we are in the present, and where we want to be is where we want to be. We have a place we want to get to. Let's get there. And if we keep looking like this, we're never going to get there. So stop looking in the past. Every day, complete that one goal, and then read over your list. Spend time, immerse yourself, visualize, congratulate yourself, and move to the next goal. The next thing on your list, the next thing you're going to do that day to further yourself. Do that 3 times in the day. At the end of the day, you should have accomplished 3 things that get you closer. Maybe you couldn't. So take some time at the end of the day and take a look at it. Did you list your accomplishments? What did you accomplish? List every single thing. List every single thing you accomplished that day. Spend some time doing that. And then spend some time listing what obstacles you faced. Were there things that you couldn't accomplish, and what were the obstacles? And then once you've done that, revise it. Revise your day. So if there were some things that were, if there were things that went well, that's fantastic. Remember, you celebrated all the way through. So that's fantastic. And if there were some things that were obstacles or challenges and things that didn't go perfectly, don't beat yourself up about it, but you need to recognize it. Okay, so what didn't go well? What could have gone better? You recognize it, and now revise. So spend time in changing it, visualize it, how you would have liked it to be. How would you have liked that to have gone? Okay, you know what? My goal was to have um, a, an, a really effective conversation with that client and to close a deal. Okay, maybe you're a salesperson, maybe you're a realtor, maybe you're an insurance person. Your goal was to have a really effective sales call and you didn't close the deal for whatever reason. And you're going to evaluate that. What were the challenges? What were your obstacles? Evaluate that. And then have the effective sales call in your head. Review it, revise it, create it, have it the way it was meant to be. So go through it exactly, step by step. Once you've reviewed what needed to change, change it. Change it. Make it in your head exactly the way you know it should have gone. Play it out. If it was a difficult conversation you had in your relationship, you've looked at it, you've identified, okay, you know what, maybe I could have handled that better, or maybe they should have done something better. It doesn't matter who it was. You know, maybe they were completely off base. They were being childish. They should have done this, they should have done that. Maybe that's all true. Okay, well, how can I have responded differently? All right. Okay, so I wish that had gone better. I lost my cool. You know, yeah, it's true. I had an expectation. We had an agreement. It didn't happen. I was irritated, and I reacted by snapping. The rest of the day was ruined. So how could that have gone better? Well, I had an expectation. We had an agreement. I could have said something in a kinder way. I could have said nothing. I could have done the thing myself. I had options. Any of those options, we would have had a nicer day. So it doesn't mean that you just pretend like nothing happened. It means, how can I have handled the situation in a way that would have been more positive for me, for my family, for my business, for the world? You know, how would it have gone better? Well, okay, let me take a look at it and let me fix it in my head. Because when you fix it in your head, first of all, you're changing your whole vibration about it. If you don't fix it, it's going to stay with you. So fix it in your head. If you could fix it in real time, awesome. But at least fix it in your head. So that when you get up the next day, you have a positive vibration that you are approaching the day with. Otherwise, you're carrying that negativity with you. You're carrying it forward. We don't want to carry anything forward. So any of the negative garbage from today, you're going to change it. And then see tomorrow's goals. So you're going to, in advance, see, okay, well, what would I like tomorrow to look like? What would I like to be like? What would I like to feel like? What would I like tomorrow to go like? See that in advance. And then visualize it. Visualize the big picture as you go to sleep. Think of your big picture goal. Think of all of the ways in which you're going to show up in that big picture goal, what it's going to look like, what it's going to feel like, all the details, how you're going to dress, how you're going to talk, how you're going to walk, who's going to be with you, who's going to be around you, how they're going to dress, how they're going to walk, how they're going to talk, what house you're going to live in, what car you're going to drive, how much you're going to travel, everything, how happy you're going to be, what you're going to feel like, especially what you're going to feel like. Visualize all of that as you go to sleep. Very important. As you go to sleep, that's when all of those programs and patterns are down. We let our guard down at night. That's when we're very susceptible to programming at night. Our subconscious, our unconscious is able to take on new things. We're very open to new programming at night. So it's a perfect opportunity to do things like listen to your own voice recorded saying affirmations. It's a great opportunity to listen to your own voice recorded saying the story of your goals. Record yourself saying the story. Tell yourself, read that love letter out loud, record it, and let yourself listen to it as you go to sleep. Do a meditation about exactly what your whole goal and life will be like. Let yourself listen to that as you fall asleep. Beautiful way to get all of those messages into your unconscious or your subconscious. So that's the work, right? It doesn't mean just visualizing. You're doing tasks every day that meet the needs of your big goal every single day. So every day you're going to choose 3 things. You're going to be working on it. You have to be working on it. At the same time, you have to also be training yourself to believe it. You have to be training yourself to see yourself in it, to see yourself as this person that lives that life, that does these things, that achieves success. Those things have to go together. That's the secret of success. Doing it and believing you are doing it. Being it and believing you are it. So that's really it. That's it. That's it. So I really hope that you were able to get a lot of value out of these 5 days. I'm very, very optimistic about that. I hope and pray that you are able to put these things into practice and that you start to apply them immediately to your life. I'm Fiona Bennett, and I am a life coach who helps women primarily, to go from living a life that is okay to living a life that is amazing and achieving your dreams. And that's what I want for you. I really know that life can be so much more than just okay, and that it doesn't have to be lived numb. It doesn't have to be lived feeling blah and feeling like knowing that there's more. There is more. There is more for you. You're right. There is. And it's already available. It's already waiting. All you have to do is claim it. And I would love to help you do that. So if you have gotten something from these sessions, and I know you have, so if you have gotten something from these sessions, then I really urge you to keep going. Don't stop here. There's so much more to do and so much further that you can go. Why would you just want to stop here when you can get all the way to where you want to be? It just makes sense to keep going. So I'm dying to work with you and get you there so that you can get to the place where you belong, the place where life is amazing, extraordinary, and you're happy. You're happier, you're healthier, you're wealthier, and you are living the life of your dreams. So please subscribe to the video and contact me at bennett.lifelearningstrategies@gmail.com, or contact me through my website at lifelearningstrategies.com, and book a call. I offer 30-minute free sessions so we can talk one-to-one, where that's really one-to-one is where you can find out what your particular needs are. Like, what is really stopping you from getting where you need to be? And what is going to get you there? That's 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 the big picture story, right? Like, that's what you want to know, isn't it? What is stopping me and what's going to get me there? That's what you want to know. And that's what we can work on immediately when we talk. So, and it's free. Like, it seems like a no-brainer. So why wouldn't you want to do that? And we can get started right away and then go from there. Usually when people sometimes ask me, like, how long do we work together if we work together? And usually about 12 weeks is a really good amount of time to get a base down and get your plan in place. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that you have achieved everything in 12 weeks. Most people haven't achieved everything, but you have achieved a lot. You've definitely achieved a lot. Some of my clients have achieved, way more than they thought they would in that amount of time. Most of my clients have achieved way more than they thought they would in a lot shorter than that, actually. So it's a really good amount of time to get a good base down. And I know that even in the first session, most people feel much different than they did when they came in, because one of the very first things that we do is start to release some energy that you've been carrying for way too long, that is negative, and it's just old stuck energy from the past that doesn't need to still be there, and that you're carrying around for no reason. And it's to do with old wounds. And it doesn't mean that those old wounds don't matter. Of course they do. Of course they do. It's not about that. It's about what's best for you now. And what's best for you now is to not still carry old pain. So it's about releasing that. And once we do that, which happens really fast, is to just release that old pain and energy of the pain. It feels amazing. It feels so much lighter. People feel lighter and they feel connected to their own love and light. So that happens for most people in the very first session, the first full session. We don't usually do that in the free session, but we usually do that, are able to achieve that in the very first full session. So, that's kind of nice, right? So that's just some stuff to keep in mind. And as I said, I would love to work with you. If you want to contact me, I'm going to put the links in the stuff down below too, so that information will be there. And feel free to shoot me a comments, any questions. I would definitely get back to you. And that's our session for today. And I just enjoyed this week immensely. I really hope that you did as well. And I wish you all the best.